Hello everybody. I've been working on this squirrel. It's a very little drawing. It's a drawing in commission and it has to represent autumn, so I thought a squirrel would be nice for it. Squirrel eating and nibbling on the nuts and some leaves around it, some autumn colored leaves, and so I made a bit of a sketch of a squirrel. I found an image on the internet and using it for my squirrel. It's a bit different because what I normally do, because it's pretty small. Try to make the eye as detailed as I can, and but the technique is totally different, of course, when you have to make a squirrel or to make a drawing this small. This is about letter format 8.5 by 11. So I just wanted to show you a bit how I work on this squirrel. I do a bit like all my colored pencil drawings, but of course you have to, with a small drawing like this, you have to make sure that your pencil is like very sharp, so you can just draw the little hairs of the squirrel. At first you start with setting it up lightly with the lightest color, which is a very light brown, ochre kind of color. And you just make really tiny little stripes like this in order to make an indication of the fur. Of course, in the direction that the fur is going. Little ear. There's a lot of brown in there. I already did the head, as you could see. I started that with a lighter color brown as well. This one, and his head is a bit darker than the rest, so I added a darker color, a darker brown to it later in the same technique as what I'm doing with the lighter one. And I also added black for the eye, obviously, but also in the fur itself, since it has to be quite a lot darker, as you can see. You have to be really careful with such a small squirrel, such a small drawing, that you don't make the stripes too big, because that's just not gonna look realistic. Then you want to be sure that the fur fits the size of the squirrel. Bit of a challenge to hold the camera at the same time. I'm not adding much here because it has to be a bit white over there, so we'll leave that alone. So as you can see, you have to have quite a lot of patience for it. So the fur on his body is a little bit longer than on his head, the hairs, the individual hairs, so then you can make the strokes a little bit like longer. Not too long, of course, because so I'll fill it in with a bit of a darker brown. Show that to you. Again, point is very sharp. Especially with these smaller drawings, I do it very carefully because it's really easy to ruin it by doing something too dark. So maybe at first you have the feeling like, oh, you can hardly see anything, but if you build it up in layers, then you're gonna see the difference, obviously. But as I always say, it's easier to add than to erase. You don't want to be erasing in colored pencil drawing. Especially not such a small drawing. Well, so that was it. I'm just gonna continue in this way to do the whole squirrel. And if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you with my next videos again. Bye.